Good afternoon, everyone. We're back in session up here in court, and I just stepped out of the courtroom for a little bit to give you guys an update. There's not much has changed since this morning when we gave our update. We still have a full courtroom. It is overfilling, and we still can't get everyone in it. So there's a line still outside the courtroom waiting just to get in as if somebody leaves, and they are taking turns, so we're rotating people. I sat through 3 different hearings this morning between breaks. We have our 4th hearing right now going on. We're back in the courtroom, and as we're speaking, they're supposed to be bringing the jurors in here as we're speaking, and Scott Drexler is supposed to take the stand. Now the question is how long are they going to allow him to testify? We spent all morning up until just a few minutes ago arguing and discussing what he's allowed to say and how far his attorney is allowed to go with his testimony, and how he's supposed to guide his client, Mr. Drexler, in saying the proper and right things, so Mr. Drexler's not caught up in anything where he's having to say something about the BLM agents, or saying something about how the guns were pointed, or the snipers, or any of these videos that have been prohibited from being played in front of the jurors. So that's where we're at there. Some of the things that the defense attorneys are upset about is that the sanctions that the prosecutors have asked the judge to place on them, and they're claiming that they needed the rest of the day off to consult with attorneys themselves, that they needed to talk to these attorneys to see what their rights were and how their rights were being violated in here by this judge, Judge Gloria Navarro. And the judge did not want to hear that. She did not want to give them that rights to go consult with attorneys, especially 3 of the attorneys, that's Stephen Sturrid's attorney, Eric Parker's, and Scott Drexler's attorney. Those 3 attorneys feel like if there's going to be sanctions and charges against them, they have a right to counsel themselves and talk to an attorney before they proceed any further. And the judge at this point has denied them that right and not allowing them to stop and to get counsel. So there's some big things going on here. We're hoping Scott Drexler gets to testify the rest of the day here and bring out his testimony. We have been warned over and over and over again that he is not to testify anything that can be considered self-defense. That these BLM officers are victims, and that a defendant does not have a right, again, to testify on his behalf against a victim that is within law enforcement. One thing that she did change in the jury instructions, the judge allowed the word victim to be taken out of the jury instructions and put just the word law enforcement instead of victim. So that was one small move that the defense wanted, but these little bits and pieces that are being allowed to the defense team and to these defendants have been so minor that they're really not even noticeable. Again, we got lots of people down here. We've got great new signs out today. We've got close to 100 people up in the courtroom, probably another couple of dozen outside the courtroom waiting to get in if there's an opening. I'm guessing there's another 40 to 50 out here holding signs and congregating out here. We are planning on having a Lysander Spooner little conference down here, some speeches after court, so sometime about 5 o'clock and after, as soon as court is over with today, we will hear from several speakers right down here in front of the courthouse to finish out the rest of the day. So you'll have several updates from us still throughout the day and what's going on. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Tomorrow will probably be closing arguments for the prosecution and the defense team. And the jurors may get this case as early as tomorrow, the way it sounds. We're going to have some short closing arguments. These closing arguments are going to be totally controlled by the federal government and by Judge Gloria Navarro, and she's going to stipulate what they can say and how they're going to say it to the jurors when these closing arguments are given. thanks again, everybody. Just a short update, letting you know what's going on down here on the ground in Las Vegas. Continue to stay tuned. Watch out for our updates. We're going to have more throughout the day before the day's over with. Thanks again, and look at the great sign we've got here that was brought in from California and donated by someone here. So God bless. Keep praying for us, and we will be tuned in later.
Awesome.